If you enjoy listening to inspirational stories from people just like us, facing the fear and doing it anyway, then you're in the right place. My name is Claire Hill, and this is the No Rest for the Vivid podcast. Hello! Happy episode 9 of the No Rest for the Vivid podcast. I feel like, you remember when you were 9 and you were getting to your 10th birthday and you were like, oh, double figures. I'll never be single figures again. That's how I feel about next week being episode 10. It feels like that's a good chunk of podcast. Do you know what I mean? Am I talking daft? I'm sure some of you know what I mean. Still loving doing it. It's absolutely amazing. I've got some amazing guests lined up as well. So excited. This week's episode is from Karen, who runs GoGoosey. It's a new small business selling quick drying unisex onesies that are ideal for swimming. I bought one of these for Jackson straight after finishing recording this episode, and I experimented when he got out of the shower. I couldn't believe it. Jackson's my son, by the way. It worked so well. Part of me was a little bit dubious because you think, really? They can just get out of the swimming pool or the bath or the shower, whatever you want to do, stick a onesie on and they're dry like that. I mean, he was soaking when he put this onesie on. At the end of this podcast, my cheeks really were aching because I was smiling so much. Her story is really inspirational, and I feel like we need more Karens in our life. Karens like this one, obviously. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Remember, if you leave a review, I will read it out on the podcast. Oh, can I do a quick shout out to Auntie Ham, my friend Sam, that listens to this podcast on her way to work. There you go, there's a treat for you, Sam. And somebody else messaged me today saying that they listen to it on their way to work. So if you're on your way to work, just give yourself a little thumbs up and a pat on the back because you're doing a great job. I'm going to stop wanging on, but enjoy the episode. Let me know what you think. Rate and review if you have time. And all the links to everything that you need are in the show notes. Hi, Karen.
Hello.
Hello. How are you feeling?
Yeah, a little bit nervous, but
are you nice and comfy?
Excited.
Yeah,
I'm
good.
very comfortable. Yes.
Good. Nice and comfy with a cup of tea or coffee. Good. We're going to have a lovely chin wag.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you so much for saying that you'd come on the podcast. I'm really, really honoured to have you on. So on that note, what's your name? Where'd you come from and what do you do?
Oh, I feel like blind date now.
I keep doing it for that reason, I think.
Yeah, my name's Karen. I live in Tunbridge Wells in Kent.
Whoop, big up the Kent.
Woo-woo. Not originally from Kent, originally from South London and moved to Kent. So
I love the way you just went South.
South London. Or it could have been Surrey. It depends who you're speaking to. No, I live in Surrey. No, actually it's South London. I'm talking about GoGoosey. It is a quick drying onesie, a unisex quick drying onesie for children. So basically, you kids come out of the pool, they put it on, it dries on them, and it dries within 10 minutes. So you don't have to take a towel, maybe towel dry their hair, but generally you put it, they go in the onesie, they come home in the onesie, it dries straight away. So there's no tantrums, no soggy towels, and more importantly, you can get dressed if you're swimming as well, to stand there and freeze while your child is, battling with clothes, or you're battling to get clothes on them. And they're all nice and snug and warm. And that's the product. Simple as that.
Well, you say simple as that. But when we first chatted about this, my mind boggled because I've taken my son Jackson swimming. I get cold swimming, and the fact that you can just put something on. So it's like the most amazing toweling dressing gown that's not bulky.
Yeah, not toweling. It's actually a microfleece.
Wow.
So it's a one-sided microfleece. So it keeps them nice and snug and warm. But the inside is water. The material is water repellent, so it never gets soaking wet. And even if you take it out of the washing machine, it's not soaking wet.
Wow. So
it dries literally within 10 minutes. So the outside never gets wet. The inside gets slightly damp when they first put it on. But when they often when you finish swimming, you're trying to get yourself ready, sit them down, give them a packet crisp, banana, whatever you want to give them, get yourself ready. By the time you've walked out that door, it is dry. And even now, with swimming lessons, they're all saying you've got to wrap and go. I've had quite a lot of friends, and I've done it myself, where we put it over the swimming costume. So yes, it gets slightly more wetter, and obviously if you're sitting on it, it might get a little bit more wet, but it never gets soaking wet. And the children, and in fact, I had a parent the other day, he'd used it, and she'd put it over the swimsuit, and she got in the car, and they were literally a few minutes down the road, and he went, I'm completely dry. This is completely dry. This is so strange. But yeah, it's but it doesn't even have to be just out of swimming. It can be when you're on the beach. How the kids go in the water, get themselves freezing. They come out, I'm cold, I'm cold. So you put a towel around them. The second time you put a towel around them, it's soaking wet, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you put this on, they stay nice and warm, they have a run around, it dries, they get out, they get back in the sea. By the time they've got out again, it's dry again, put it on again, and then they go home in it.
Oh my goodness. It's just like it for me, it's camping as well.
Yeah.
I can
Out the
see.
shower.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when you're in those tiny cubicles, if you go camping, you're trying to sort yourself out.
Yeah.
But hold on a minute, and just step into but they're not for adults. You haven't got any adults yet, have you?
Not yet. Not yet. That's the long-term goal, because open water swimmers.
Yes.
Well, camping. Someone even said to me, hot tub. People going in and out of the hot tub.
Now, Karen, you've just said my two favourite words right there. That's my dream, to have a hot tub in the garden. Amazing. So where did your love of this, I say love story, because I always feel like when you have a business, it is like having a child. Where did it all come from? Where did you get the idea?
Well, just over 6 years ago, I adopted my daughter. So on my own, and it was all very exciting. You think, gonna do this with her and that with her, and never taking a swim. And then you have this idealistic view of what swimming's going to be, don't you?
Yeah.
So they splash around, they have a lovely time, and then you get out. And then my daughter was very placid, bless her. She was not she didn't do tantrums normally. I'm very lucky. And we got out, and she was like, I'm cold, you're battling, going, well, I've got to get all warm as quickly as possible. I'm standing there in my swimming costume, freezing, trying to put it on, and it's just something in my head. I think it was even, I came home traumatized by the whole event. Thinking I really don't want to do that again, but she loves the swimming bit, so I will be going back, but how are we going to do this? And I think I was just lying in bed going, there's got to be something easier, surely, that we can put on them. So I looked on the market and I couldn't find anything. And I thought, yes, there's those hooded towels, but you can't go home in that. You can just dry them. But again, you've still got to take that off, get them dressed, get them home. So it just kind of went from there, really. And this has been 5 years, 5.5, 6 years of, putting this together. So I spent ages trying to find materials. So from all over the world, I've been getting loads of different materials. What made me think as well about this material was the dog ones, the dog coats. That dries on them. It's like a microfleece. Yeah. And I was looking up, and it said, and so I was looking up water repellent materials, and it came up obviously with a microfleece. So I sent off, and as I said, I got different fleeces, and they weren't right. And this particular one I found, and I was like, this is it. I now need to test it. So I have no sewing skills whatsoever. I mean, honestly, I got the worst grade in high school of sewing. So I'm not the best person to. So I said to a friend, look, if I got you who's really good, if I got you a onesie pattern, could you put it together for me? Which she did. Tested it on my daughter. She absolutely loved it. But obviously the design was just a very simple onesie. And I was thinking, I want a funky onesie now. I want, and again, couple of years past, it was the thing of, I do that next week, or I haven't quite got the money to do it. What am I going to do about my job? I haven't got any fashion experience. Is anyone going to take me seriously? All that. So I then thought, no, come on, Karen, you've got to take the next step. So I found a designer and always recommended somebody, and we worked together for about 3-6 months. But we just weren't on the same page. I think. She was, I mean, she makes quite high-end, fashion garments. And I'm not saying this isn't high-end fashion, but I knew what I wanted in my head. And financially, things weren't right at the time either. So we just parted ways. But then it took about another 6 months. I thought, do you know what? I need a young, someone who's got great ideas, fashion student. So I looked on LinkedIn. I thought, who's local in my area? And met this really lovely girl called Francesca. We met quite a few times in my lunch break of my normal job, because I'm still working at this stage, still am to this day at the moment. And lovely. And she saw my vision. She saw what I was trying to do. And what was great about her was she put something together and going, what do you think about that? And I said, well, can we just tweak that? Yeah, but that's absolutely fine. And she put this design together, put the tech pack together. I was thinking, right, okay, I've got the material, I've got the tech pack. Now I've got to take it forward even more. So it's obviously about finding manufacturers. Have no experience. I tried a few places in the UK to get it manufactured. A couple of people turned me down, or they just charged too much.
So did you have to have, like, when you go to a manufacturer's, how do you approach them? Do you sort of say, just ring them up and go, hi, you're a factory that makes onesies. I've designed this revolutionary thing.
It's just all by email, isn't it? You just have to go to their contact page. And, I think I speak to a couple, but they were just like, oh, no, that's not for us. No, that's not for us. And then
at that point, you had no experience. You just thought, I'm going to Google and go for it.
Yeah, because I have to say, I wanted UK, and, I'm not using UK at the moment, but I will eventually. I will. Well, but I just think to start off with, I was kind of being turned away, really, and I didn't have the contacts to get the UK. And also, whilst I don't, want to make loads of money out of it, I've got to make some money out of it to obviously cover costs and everything. So they were coming up with really high costs. That was before we even had the material. But I've now found another company who works in between us and China. So they know the business. They've helped me to, they know the factories that they can put together, designs for them. We've tweaked along the way as well. And then I just suddenly went, okay, I'm gonna go for it. I did try crowdfunding, didn't work so well. But in return, I was giving 3 onesies, and obviously when it happened. But it's really difficult getting that momentum up for something that's not been seen before, and getting it obviously on the right social marketing platforms. And I'm on them all. I was never on them before. I mean, I've always been on Facebook, but I was never on Instagram, or still haven't gone to Twitter quite yet, or TikTok. I'm not sure having a child dancing in it, or I haven't quite gone there. But that's the way to go. That's how you're going to have to get it out there. So I raced a little bit on there, and in the end, I've just had to borrow some money, to obviously start it from family. But we then went to manufacture, and you're like, oh my goodness, it's being made. There's 300 of them being made.
Oh my goodness.
And also, it's like, where am I going to put them? I live in a terraced house. So where are they going to go? And obviously started the momentum of selling them, and we launched in September.
Amazing. What I love about this product, and this is the ideal, is that you saw, and also I want to give you a lot of kudos for the fact that you've done something about it. You saw there was a problem for all parents, or anyone that takes a child swimming. There's a problem there, and you were like, oh, I've got to solve this. And it's that kind of spark of initiative that propels these kind of products forward. And also, I've got a massive round of applause for the fact that you were turned down and you just kept going. I think that is beyond amazing. I really do.
They're missing the trick. It's going to be like that thing in Pretty Woman, go, big mistake, huge.
Absolutely.
When it becomes really big and they go, didn't she come to us with that idea?
Absolutely. How great does it to say that out loud? When you love something that much, and you've been that persistent with it, you were going to be like, oh yeah, remember when you turned me down?
Yeah.
It's just wonderful, isn't it? But obviously, not in a horrible way, but just in a. And I was just going to say as well, you said you don't want to make a lot of money. I think you probably can make a lot of money out of this, Karen, and it's okay to say that you want lots of money, because let's be fair, you're probably working all the hours God sends to be able to get this off the ground. You deserve it. You are solving problems for these adults with screaming babies all over the world. So you're allowed to earn quite a lot of money from it. It feels quite daunting to me to think I want to create something, and there's the end vision. And actually, I suppose at the beginning you may not have had that exact vision of what you want. Maybe you did actually, because you were had it in your mind. But then you're sitting here thinking, right, I've got to, because what's your day job? It's nothing to do with design, is it? I mean, exactly. So you're sitting there in your recruitment job thinking, this is where I want to get to. And it's that journey of how you get there. That is so daunting. You must have been petrified.
Well, I think if you look at the end goal, I think you just need to do one bit at a time, don't you? You need to go, right, okay, the next step is I've got to get it designed. The next step is, well, obviously to start off with, I've got to find the material, then I've got to get something made, I've then got to test it, then I've got to obviously get a designer, get it made. And this goes back to, what I was thinking before, was my fears about doing this was that I have no fashion industry experience whatsoever, not even worked in retail, but I'm a mum. And, and I just thought, this will solve a problem for so many mums. And so that's what I was thinking when each step, rather than I've got all these things to do, I've got to just do one thing at a time. Yes, I've got a dream. Yes, I've got a dream of where it's going and what's going to be the end goal. I say the end goal is kind of happening now, but the end goal of where it's going to be sold, who's going to be wearing it. And I'm going to say straight away, I want to see it at the Olympics. So when they come out in between their races, maybe with my logo as well as their own, like sponsorship or whatever. But I think if you look at everything in a whole, what you've got to do, I think you would panic.
Yeah,
it's like putting it into different areas and different boxes. So I suppose I never thought I'd get to this bit, and now I'm here. It's like, come on, everybody, can't you see? Just buy it. And sales have been slowly getting higher, and they're from people I don't know. That was the first thing.
That's so good when that happens, isn't it?
The first thing when you get that order through, and you go, oh my goodness, that's in Scotland. That's just somebody I don't know. And you're getting messages. So I'm messaging these people and saying, when did you hear about us?
Oh, well done.
And obviously people are hearing, and it will eventually obviously get out there. Obviously
it definitely build momentum.
The fear is someone's going to steal it, and I'm sure they will at some stage, but I'm the first. And and the thing is about anybody that starts a business, majority of the time it's already out there, and sometimes you've just tweaked it to make it better, or you've put your own style on it. You've just got to be passionate about your brand and what you're doing, and you will find there's as I said, there's nothing else out like this out on the market. So, but a lot of other people, there is enough room for everybody, I think.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I always think that competition shouldn't exist. As soon as you start competing with other people, you're not in your own lane. You just go through what you want to do. But can you not protect your design at all?
Trademark. I can trademark, but because it's fashion, you think of London Fashion Week.
They
only need to change one stitch of it, and it's taken, sort of thing. So, but that's something I'm just going to have to. But GoGoosey is the first. So
GoGoosey is the first. Amazing. How long from when did you had the first idea to having those 300 onesies made? How long was that? Was it a short amount of time, or?
No, about 5.5 years.
5.5 years?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So why do you think it took you so long? Is it the funding and getting the right manufacturers in place?
Life.
Right. Yeah.
I think just life gets in the way. I had a new daughter. I was bringing up my daughter as a single parent, and I might add that by choice,
Yeah.
that I adopted her. And so it was obviously bringing her up, getting used to being a parent, and also doing a job to earn a living and then it was that thing of, okay, it's that imposter syndrome. Can't say it, can I?
Oh yeah, our wonderful friend that
Yes. So
most people know.
So should I really be doing this? Do I know what I'm doing? And but the more I looked, and I suppose even in those 5 years, I was thinking something else is going to come on the market. Something else is going to come on similar, and it's gone. And I came up with that idea first, and then I suddenly, obviously took that leap and started it, and it was a slow boil for all those years. But then the past year has been, kind of crazy of, going back and forwards to this company with the manufacturer. It's getting samples. It's looking at colours, and in fact, I've already ordered the second colour, even though we haven't sold all of the first colour. But I just thought, I'm just thinking of, Christmas time, you've got siblings, you don't want to put them in the same colour. So I've got another 300 coming. So another 12 boxes to squeeze. My cats are getting further and further into the corner. I've been squished against the wall because because it's not worth me getting premises at this stage. I will do it, at some stage, but I've got a dining room, so they're all stacked up on the side. And we are making sales. It is slowly, but I want it all to happen now. And you're like, come on,
Yeah. But you've made some sales. I think it is one of the have you got the receipt of when you sent your first orders?
Oh, I've kept everything on.
Yeah, because I always look at that, and I keep it in my purse, and I always think that person, I know exactly who it was and exactly what they ordered. I'll never forget that first order. And they were from somebody, like you say, I didn't know them.
But also it's that anxiety when it is somebody that you don't know, will they like it? I think I literally, I'd gone to stay with a friend at the weekend, and I woke up in the middle of the night going, oh my goodness, are they going to like it? I love it. I know I love it. I know my friends love it, but are they saying they love it just because they're my friends? Because you think your friends are going, oh, well done, it's a lovely product, but in their head they're going, it's not right, even though people have bought them, people have used them and loved them. It's that person, that first person who's bought it that you don't know.
Oh yeah.
So I did have that great anxiety.
It doesn't go anywhere though, Karen, by the way. Always there. If you want to be any good at anything, I still worry. There was one, I sent an order last week I'd made a butterfly for somebody's mum who had passed away, and it was for her grave. And the fact that it was, oh God, I couldn't bear it. And I was just like, I've got to send her a picture. I was panicking. And then the customer was like, why are you worrying? I said, because, you know what I mean? Absolutely. Yeah. So important. I worry about almost every order.
Doesn't that just go to show that, we're so passionate about our products?
Yeah.
And we know we love them, but we want other people to love them. I've even, with the product, I'm constantly thinking of, one of the different colours, but also, is there anything within it that, not that I've had any feedback about anything, but I was thinking about ease of putting it on. Is there anything we can change? So I've changed a little bit on the next order about the ankle cuff, just to make it easier to put the foot through. People have not said that that's been a problem, but I've suddenly thought, well, hang on a minute, I want it even easier. I want it that, so the kids, obviously the younger kids, you want it easy as a parent to be able to put your children's feet through yourself. But also when the kids are putting it on themselves, they are wet. They're wet. You want it even easier. So, I mean, it's that thing of, so this anxiety doesn't go then, does it?
No. But I think the day that I don't care about something I've made is the day I have to step away. And I've and we're recording this on the 21st of October. I was up very late last night doing finishing my Christmas stuff that has gone out to my newsletter subscribers this morning. And the worry, absolute panic is just ridiculous until you're like, it's done. You just don't see. But I think that if there comes a point where you're not committed to doing the absolute best product, and you are serving your customers, and if you ever move away from that feeling of putting your customer first, apart obviously put your health first, I mean that's by the by, but really thinking about your customer and wanting to give them the best experience. And that goes from, I worry as well, which is, you might end up worried about this now, I'm going to talk about it. I worry about the customer journey on the website. So even my website over the last 2 years has really developed in so what do my customers see on their phone? What do the customers see on the computer? Making that you really user friendly. Is it nice? Is it easily, all of these weird things.
But even the postage. So I've said, so because I'm doing a job as well, I've said 3 to 5 days, working days, to allow that I'm not down the post office every day packing, because obviously I'm having hundreds of orders. However, because I've just started, the moment I get that order in, I post it that day.
Yeah,
because you just want to be. See, you got it tomorrow. It wasn't 3 to 5 working days. You got it within 1 working day.
That's it. Yeah, under promise and over deliver.
Yes,
always. It's the best feeling when I get orders out before.
And when I had an order once on Friday night, I was like, no, I'm not going to be able to get it out till Monday. I wanted to.
That's brilliant. But yeah, no, that doesn't go anywhere. So what are the next steps? So what's your big dream? Oh, you said Olympics, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah. Well, so obviously I want to get it out to a major retailer. I think that, as I said,
anyone in mind?
Hush, hush, wink, wink.
Sorry, I know you said before we started recording, but I just wanted to bring this a little bit.
Yeah. No. I'm not saying it's not even so much of jinxing, but I've got a mentor, somebody who's helping me, lovely lady, and she's helping me, which I think everyone should get, because there are women 100%. There are women in the industry who want to help, who are successful. They've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, got the onesie, and she's been introducing me to a few different people, because it's all about, if you go to a big major retailer, you've got to think about how you're going to fund it. So she was talking about invoice factoring. I don't know whether you've heard of invoice factoring. No. So basically the big retailers, if they put in a big order, they don't pay you straight away, but you still got to get it made. The invoice factoring is companies that will lend you the money for a short amount of time, and then they pay, and then when the company pays, and they take their cut of it. But obviously you're looking at, if they come in with asking for 10,000, you've also, it was little things that she was saying to me, that check that your manufacturer can actually do it. Because if you go to these big retailers, I could be with a factory who says, oh no, we only do 1,000 a day, whereas I've found out that they can do 300,000, so I think we're okay. Probably not all for me, I should add.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so talking to, obviously wanting it to be out there some way. I mean, whether it's a major retailer, whether it's I contacted swim schools to see if they, and a lot of them do want to stock it, but they all want small numbers at the moment, and I'm just not able to give them a wholesale price, just because once I get into the thousands, obviously my costs go down, and then I can offer it out. But at the moment I wouldn't make anything at all. If anything, I'd make because it's a certain percentage that you have to put on and that they want to take off, and I will get there. It's just getting those volumes, getting the word out there. And I've heard from swim schools who, really love the idea and are really behind me. And are going, they said, I started my own business. I completely know. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help. So going back to that thing of, that imposter syndrome and having a mentor, it's, if you don't know how to do it, find someone that can help you to do it. And I had a business coach who was training to she was doing her qualifications, and offered out 5 sessions for free. So found that on one of the groups on Facebook, and she's following me now, and she's obviously used me as an example as well. And I have to say, I needed that.
Yeah.
Because you've got all those things in your head going, I've got to do this, 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 and this. And she's the one that's taught me and said, stop. Tomorrow or this week, you have this list of things to do. And if you don't get it done, even if you ticked off 2 out of the 3, that's fine. Next week, you do that. She said, do not have this big long list that's, because you're just going to get overwhelmed by it all. And she kind of, she said, put it into boxes. And, we spoke on a few times. And then she kind of taught me how to process, planner, obviously having a planner, that sort of thing. And I have to say, I don't have a planner at the moment, but I have things in my head that I'm working through. But also it's just grabbing opportunities like this. So I saw this and I just thought, I love to talk. I love I've done radio presenting in the past.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Amazing.
So I did something years ago called Making It, which was a BBC initiative to allow members of the public to come in and take over for the day. Got chosen from about 400 people. And my first interview was with Mark Thompson, the head of the BBC.
Oh my God.
So that was petrified. And then from then onwards, I mean, that was something that I'd still like to maybe touch on in the future. But it's obviously quite difficult to get into. And I did a load of working for free. I did overnights at LBC producing.
Wow.
There's been I've just had different passions, and I think that there's nothing wrong with having lots of different passions.
Absolutely. No, I've got 1,000,001. It's the focusing on it. But going back to what you were saying about coaching, I'm part of like a group of women that we really, and we're coached, and I've got a coach and I coach as well. I coach small businesses. And I think it's the mindset that has really helped me to understand that you can do what you want to do. It is, I used to think, who exactly the imposter? Who am I to make wire art? Who am I to launch a podcast? Who am I to be a coach? All of these things. But actually, then when you see the impacts of one of my clients, her business, she's texting me this week. I can't believe how well she's doing, and I'm just buzzing. Like how well she's doing. I mean, it's definitely not all down to me, but all she needed to hear were the right things. Have a plan of action. Reframe it in your mind. It's that objective view on your idea, isn't it?
Somebody on the outside looking in,
absolutely,
who looks at it at a different perspective. You say, "Oh, I don't know how to do this. I'm juggling this. How am I going to do this?"
Yeah.
And they're looking in from the outside. And they go, "Well, why don't you try this?" And you go,
"Yeah.
Why did that? It's staring me in the face."
But you can't see it.
No.
Yeah, you can't see it until somebody. And actually, I put off getting a coach for longer than I should have. And it's just, I feel so much better for it now. Absolutely, like.
And what I loved is that you said about getting a buzz out of helping other people, and that's why when people say, "Oh, I don't like to ask," there's nothing wrong in asking for help, because people like to help, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I've been in contact with some fellow wire artists, and I did have a message from somebody saying, why I'm interested, why do you want to help other wire artists? But my mission with that is to raise the whole craft up, so everybody, just to recognize that it's actually pretty difficult to do. But it is about supporting people that say, like, you can be doing this full time. But it's amazing that you've got such great feedback about the coaches and mentor that you've got, and it's brilliant, isn't it? And I just don't, it's just such a new thing as well. I think America, Australia as well are much more established in their mindset about getting a coach. And definitely I thought,
it's that thing of therapy. It's that thing of therapy, isn't it? It's like, people see it as therapy, and it's
no, it's not. It's not. No,
not that there's anything wrong with therapy either. I believe if you need it as well. But coaching is just, there's so
tells you,
and what's nice is there's a lot of startup companies as well that also, whilst they help fund, which I haven't gone down that road yet, but I know people that have been part of that, they provide you a mentor as well, because they want it to work for you.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah.
And I think people don't believe that other people, you know, as you said, like yourself, who do the same thing, want it to work for them as well.
Yeah.
As you said, there should be no competition.
No.
You do it for yourself, you do it for the love of what you do, and there's room in the market for everybody.
There really is. Because
Yeah.
I always think one of my best friends is a shoe designer, and not at one point did she ever think, oh, everyone, there's so many shoes out there.
Yeah.
There's no room for me. She's one of the biggest shoe designers ever. I'm so utterly proud of her. But I just
when you see in the high street, when you see 20 coffee shops in the high street,
absolutely.
And you think, how are they making money? But they must be, because they're still there, 5 years later.
And how many chefs are there on the TV?
Yeah.
Everyone buys a recipe book, and it's about finding your niche and I really celebrate the fact that you have such a clear niche. I think, again, I was put off for ages about finding my niche, about really focus. I really want to focus on wire art that's for children and families, even though I love making the odd swear word, but just really because it's so much fun to do. If you could tell yourself something 10 years ago that you know now that you wish you'd known 10 years ago, what would that be?
Don't wait so long. just go for it. Just find a way. If you've got that vision in your head, and even if it's just the start of a vision, things take time anyway, and you may tweak it along the way, but don't waste time. Just as I said, it is a bit different. 10 years ago, I just don't think there was that women empowerment as much, was there?
No,
there wasn't that thing of, if you were successful as a woman, it was, I don't know, but it just wasn't as encouraged, was it?
No.
So 10 years ago, it's only happened recently that, like you're helping other women. I've got people that are standing up and going, I'm going to help you. And without them, I would not be here. I would not be, they say I did it, but I didn't. I did it with the help of them. And yes, I had the vision, and yes, I've, taken it forward, but I just needed those little bits of advice, that little bit of guidance, the people that had been in the industry, people that had, knew how to start a business. And it's not taking it from one area, it's looking in different areas, whether that's on joining a group on social media where you ask questions, whether it's getting a coach, whether it's speaking to people in the industry that you're going into. I think people don't realise that it's no harm in asking. Like I said before, just ask. They can only say no.
Yeah, don't ask, don't get.
No.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, Karen, you honestly, I can't wait for people to hear about your episode, because you really are an example of just absolute perseverance, and what an inspiration you are to your daughter. You were saying about empowering women. She's going to grow up thinking, well, I was screaming when I was swimming, and my mum just created this onesie that helps the world swim and keep fit.
And what's funny is she's 8 years old, and when I'm at the side of the pool and someone's saying, oh, that looks good, what's that? She's selling it for me.
Oh, brilliant.
She goes, and it dries within 10 minutes. She said, and you're nice and warm, and it's easy to put on. It's like, okay, thank you.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. So where can people find you, Karen?
Right, so you can shop on our website, which is gogoosey.co.uk. Also, we're on Instagram, GoGoosey UK, and we have a Facebook page as well, GoGoosey UK. So they're the same. So, but
yeah, I'll put all the details in the show notes, which is I have to remind myself to say this, it's in the description of the podcast, because not everybody knows where the show notes are. And before you go, where does the name GoGoosey come from?
I was wondering whether you was going to ask that. So, first of all, a goose, feathers are water repellent.
Yes.
So it never gets soaking wet. So that's where the goosey comes from. And then all you want to do is go.
Amazing.
Okay,
Goosey.
goosey.
Oh, Karen, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having
everyone
me.
Your story. No, it's been a pleasure. I've really, really enjoyed it. My cheeks are hurting. I'm smiling because you just come across as a really wonderful person and just really beaming. You can tell that your heart really sings about your products. So so everybody, if you take your children swimming, go and buy a GoGoosey not baby grow onesie. Go and buy
quick drying onesie.
Go and buy a GoGoosey quick dry and unisex onesie. Because we have to support small business, but also this is an amazing idea.
And it will change your swimming experience.
Yeah, I am going to pick up my phone now and buy one immediately.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. I am going swimming with Jackson next Tuesday, so if I can
make sure you get it by then.
it's Thursday. Don't, but if it, maybe. Anyway, okay. Thank you so much, Karen.
No, thank you, Claire.
Oh, it's been wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to the No Rest for the Vivid podcast, written, produced and hosted by Claire Hill, and music has been composed by my brother, Phil Vidler.